Oracle Bootcamp. Today we are seeing about PLSQL object list. So this is a utility that I have created for the benefit of PLSQL developers in DBS. So normally PLSQL objects would have different kinds of functions, not just PLSQL objects, but just kind of objects that are there in the database. So you have tables partitions, indexes, index partitions, and so on. So when we are doing database developments and deployments, and when DBS are forced to handle deployments from developers, we don't have a track on how these objects are actually visible to us. Say you take a typical scenario where there are about 20 procedures and you have to do a deployment on them, but you need to take a snapshot of what is the status of the objects before the deployment and after the deployment. So we're going to quickly jump into the Oracle sample schema. So this blog will also explain how to use the sample schema when you're doing a kind of a new deployment where you're installing a lot of custom objects. So the source code for my OBJ list is available here in my object list. This will be part of my blog. So this object list would just list all the Oracle maintained schemas and what procedures packages that we have. We'll see about this after the usage of this, so feel free to download this and use it. Now we'll just jump right into how to install the sample schemas. Sample schemas are available for all Oracle database versions, and they are available here. All you have to do is go to the samples page, download these schemas from the GitHub, and once you download them, and these are available for every database versions. So, and these are the sample syntax here. So just go through them, and this would give you a clean understanding of how the sample schemas understanding. So the blog that we are going to see, or the problem that we are going to see, is that all these sample schemas have a lot of packages and procedures installed. So how does my utility understand these packages? So assume this is kind of a small application that is being developed, and you need to have a snapshot view of the procedures and and various objects available. So this will help us understand what is the object count in total for the sample schemas. I have staged these sample schemas in my home Oracle. So this is where I have staged all my sample schemas. So these sample schemas contain various procedures for human resources, for product media, for sales history, for business intelligence, customer orders, etc. So the sample schemas would actually help would actually help create a lot of sample data where you can actually play around with a lot of development environment. So it's also good to see that there is a readme here that you could just see and understand how to install these schemas. So feel free to just go through these readme, and then you could just understand how it is. So I'm going to just go into installing these sample schemas, and they would install these components here that as you see here. Now I have in my database, I'll just walk through my environment. So I have a container database, and I have a pluggable database. So I'll just go into I'll just log into my container database. Okay, now I will download my OBJ list here, and I will see what is the status of my objects for all my application schemas, which is the non-Oracle maintained schema. So I just run my utility called objlst. Okay, so this is there in my working folders. So I am going to run my objlst utility. So what I see here is it shows a summary of all objects. So clearly there is nothing actually installed here. So you could see the frequently used objects, which means all my custom schemas, which is basically my Oracle maintained one. So you could just I just have a prompt called frequently used because they are application schemas. So well, you just feel free to take it and change them. But so the fact is that there is no custom application non-Oracle maintained procedures packages right now. So I'm going to go ahead and now log into my container database. And before I go that, I'd like to show you what my connect string is for installing this. The connect string for installing Oracle schemas are important because you need to have a working TNS entry for installing sample schemas. So this is my connect string. Basically, I'm just connecting to my local host and my custom service called PDB1. You could just see this just to check that I'm able to connect to my TNS strings. Now I'm going to install my custom sample schemas using this. So basically, this is how I would just log into this and install this. I'm just zooming this for better visibility. So I am seeing this here. Okay, so I'm clearing the screen and I'm going to install it now. Okay, show PDBs. So I'm just installing this from the container, which will go to the pluggable database and use the connect string called AB, where I could just use it. Now see here. Now as you can see here, it's logged into my pluggable database using my connect string, and a lot of packages, procedures, etc. are created and dropped. So this is how the sample schemas are installed. While this is running in one side, I'm just taking you to the blog site here, and just to show that all these variables are available here. So like you could install each one of them separately, but the arguments are like you'll have to create these schemas with each of these are HR, OE, all these are passwords, and temp is the temporary table space. So you're just using this for easy reference purposes. Now as you can see here, these objects are created now. Now once these objects are created, you could just go here and you can just say show user. So the fact is that I have logged in as the system user. Now I run my objlst, and what happens here is that you can see here that each of my application schemas have been installed here. Now assume this is like a typical application deployment. So you have various synonyms, procedures. So these are all the objects list. So that is why I call this utility as objlst. So there are 571 sample schema object list across your PDB. So what is the segregation of this? So you have 56 tables, you have kind of 56 table partitions, you have 124 indexes, you have 196 index partitions, you have 23 views, you have 6 triggers, you have 2 procedures, 1 function, and 6 packages. So if there is any invalid object here, that will probably show up here, but there are no invalid objects. So if you can see, there are just we have a very good segregation here for sample schemas. So in your actual environment, you could see a whole lot of data. You can help find flaws in your application by identifying which are invalid and which are which objects are needs to be compiled. But this would need a help with your development team. But as a DBA, before and after deployment, taking a snapshot of this object list is really useful. It has helped me time and again in my deployments. So feel free to try it out. If you have any problems, just post in these sections and post in my blog, reach out to me, and thank you so much for this.